Hey folks, it's 6:30 in the morning here in Seattle, so I'm going to get some stream on before my workday begins. So just give me a moment here to check my signal online to make sure I'm coming through. Let's see. Yeah, that sounds about right. Cool. Okay, great. And if you know the deal, I'm at 110 subscribers right now and about 720 hours, which is awesome because folks are helping let those hours rattle by. And I really appreciate that. I need 1,000 of them for me to get monetized to YouTube. An easy way for you to keep an eye on whether or not I'm live or not to help support the efforts. You can check in the link down below. I just uploaded to Twitter. So if you follow me on Twitter, you know I'm live, and then I'm just hitting some of the channels that I haunt on Discord real quick, and then we'll all be able to jump in and get started. So just another moment here for. If you aren't familiar with my work, there's a link down below to the DMsGuild. It leads to a link for a bunch of the books I've done for color mana using MTG, Magic Paradigm. Those are all 100% free to preview, so you can check out how I do work. And if you like any of that stuff, certainly be welcome to support the effort. But so here's the. Here's the cover that we built for the upcoming Spelljammer Combat and Exploration book that we'll be putting out. I'm probably going to fuss with the Star Stream a little bit. Star Stream! But I'm pretty happy with it overall. But today we are continuing our map work for the Chapter 6 of Light of Xaryxis, the Momma encounter, which is hunting down a space shark called Scavers. From this asteroid field, hunt it down and make a coat out of it. So here is the black and white version that we had finished for folks that plan to print. It's a 20 by 20 inch grid, each square representing 50 feet of movement, and they provide you a little skiff to kick around at the 50-foot scale instead of walking at the 5-foot scale. A typical person could, say, walk from Topolis Tower here. In 1 minute can do a square, and each time you jump from one asteroid to another, it's considered difficult terrain. So a typical human in 1 minute can move 3 squares once they get off Topolis Tower. 1 minute, 1 square, 2 square, 3 square. You can get into this square in 1 round, for instance, while the shark can move 8. So on foot, it's pretty easy on foot to kick around this place, but to catch a shark, a flying shark, you're gonna need a skiff. So she can provide you with a skiff. You show up with the Spelljammer ship, which also has a skiff, and or alternatively, if your ship is completely wrecked, you show up with Gondori, dragging your ship. And again, we have the rules for that. In this book on the weight capacity to drag things and all the really wiggly bits, the fine details of what you can expect an adventurer to actually need to know the mechanical answer to, because players exist almost solely in the pillar of shenanigans, so you have to have as much mechanics for shenanigans as possible. But right now we are doing the highlights. So the way that we have it built is Topola is the source of light. Topola's tower is the source of light for this map. So when, like I shown previously, when you rotate, it doesn't matter where you're at in position to it. You're always going to it's always going to be facing you. So we wanted to build a smart map setup that accommodates that sort of thing. So. Hold on real quick. See, no matter which way I turn this, you're always the center of attention. I should probably, I can spiral this way. So that's if some players are going to be here, some players are going to be here, some players are going to be here. This map works in all directions, as designed. So that's what we wanted to do. Oh man, it is early here in the day. But hey, this is how you get paid the big bucks, man. You got to get up and you got to get the work done, because in these little independent studios like I have, if you don't get it done, no one else is. So here we grind. I'll be back later on today at lunchtime. It's 6:30 now. I'll probably be on in about 6 some odd hours, 6 to 7 hours, probably 7 hours, honestly, for me to continue the Martial Powers project today. We do that on Mondays for an hour or two each week for me to make mechanical expansion of the document that we've been playtesting through. And hey, you can check my Patreon link down below. You don't have to be a patron to participate. It's just open content for folks to click through to the playtest doc for this project. So I'm going to highlight the base meteor field and then delete the extraneous so I can get rid of the highlight scraggly bits, and I can just work this highlight effect into the asteroid as we do. That, tap it in, like 80% opacity, 80% strength, and then we'll take the same tool with a 10% eraser, and we'll come through and we will chop at its surface a bit to break up its texture and to fade that highlight into the stone, and then bam, we got a highlight. Ooh, shoot, my coffee's done. Yay, you can't survive in Seattle without coffee, folks. So yeah, that's what we're doing today. We're kicking in some highlights. Once the highlights are done, then we'll drop into the background. We'll do the star field as a backdrop, and then we'll call this thing done. So we probably have like maybe 2 or 3 more hours to go on this particular map piece. So I suspect it'll be done. I'm not sure how far we get through the asteroid field today with these highlight effects is going to be, strictly dependent on how futzy I get with allowing it to be done. So the only thing that's limiting at this point is quality assurance. So yeah, we're just gonna continue to grind through and work these highlights into the form of each of these rocks. And of course, when these are done, I can grab each and every one of these stones, break them up into a separate map piece. I think I'm still tilted. Am I? I feel tilted. Neat. Okay. Nope, that's straight up. Where was I? Okay, cool. So everything's fine. Everything's fine! But yeah, after this, the other map that we need to focus on right now is chapter 3 is chapter 4. Yeah, chapter 4 is the derelict nautiloid encounter outside of Rock of Rawl's jurisdiction, where the team gets checks out a derelict nautiloid ship and fights some monsters in that dungeon, and then when you come out of it, you're in an asteroid field and you get hunted by a Neogi night spider ship. And if you can clear the asteroid field, then the cops will spot you. The patrol ships from Rock of Brawl, and they will chase off the nautiloid ship for you, which is a possible solution. But if we put down a similar asteroid field to this, and so obviously we can take some of these rock samples that we've built and scatter them onto the map to help reduce the amount of work that we have to do, pick up the assets, but also create some new ones to keep the map interesting. But build a combat map scene at the 500-foot scale for you to navigate through and actually hunt or fight the night spider in the asteroid field. And so if you can defeat the Neogi, you are escorted back to Rock of Brawl as heroes. If you are at risk of loss, then that's when the patrol ships can show up to rescue you if you need to. If you want to DM, FIOP, that sort of stuff. That's the kind of game that you're running. then that's a great opportunity to insert that opportunity to rescue the team. So we'll just build out the map, the assumption that you want to kill the Neogi, and then so we'll build the asteroid field accordingly. And we'll walk through the mechanics and rules of all that stuff as we do it. But yeah, that's what we got. That's what we got coming up next. And I'm going to use the eraser tool to trim down that rock a bit, just to get rid of some of that highlighting. And just let it fade in a bit. There's obviously some inconsistency here among the highlights that I do, but that should probably be fine as long as I'm consistent. Feels like I'm being fairly consistent among the rocks that I've finished. Still got a lot to go, but the lighting seems to be lining up, as it were. So this should turn out fine. Yep, this is making sausage, folks. This is getting paid the big bucks in the RPG industry, making making art assets like this. So hey, if you're new to the channel, like, subscribe. Again, you can check out all my junk the links down below to take a look at the other work that I've published on DMsGuild right now. I always make things 100% preview, so you can read the entire thing before you decide that you want to buy it. I just think that's good in business. Yeah, I mean, people aren't going to click into and check out the work that you do unless they're actually interested in what you're doing. And if you did a good job, put the work in, then there's a decent chance that they're going to want to make use of the stuff that you build. So, cheers. Thanks to anyone that checks it out. I don't think I have anything. I don't think. Yeah, I'm tired. So we're not good right now. I'm just putting in the hours because you got to put in the hours. Actually, there's some changes. There's from the playtesting that we've done. There's revisions that need to be made to the document. So I'm in the process, and boy, I'm going back. I'm realizing just how choppy that document is and how much rework it actually needs. So it's a little frustrating to slow down like that, to have to continue writing. But it's not like I can ignore that process. So we will continue to build. My next meeting for development is going to be this Saturday, so I am hoping that I'm going to have the text revisions done. But like, I have to rebuild the entire gravity section, but that's proving effective. But it's like really convoluted. The way that the document sits right now is it's like all mushed together, so it's kind of word salad. And I appreciate anyone that's looked through the document and is be able to understand what it is that we're trying to do there, because it's there. I mean, there's revisions that need to be made, but it's there, and so it is an opportunity for us to improve what we have. From the playtesting that we've done, there's obvious improvements that can be made, so we're in the process of doing that. It just takes a little time and a lot of text, so I'm hoping I can get that done. Get Ukulele, sign off on it, and then kick it off to Adam for him to edit and then kick back to us. So I'm hoping that the text revisions will have done by this Saturday, and we can then hand it off to Adam to start editing by this time next week. So that is the dream, and at that point, the rest of the document, the first 60 pages of the mechanics that were like that close to handing off, and then the rest of the 20 pages that are the back end of the document are for the conversion of Light of Xaryxis, which is what we're working on right now, the mapping for that. So this may end up being the quality of map that we have. I mean, currently this is the quality of map that we're putting into the book. So that's for the adventure. I'm not sure exactly, again, what the interior art is going to look for the actual Spelljammer Combat and Exploration book. It may be a blend of black and white and color work, or it could be like a sepia effect for the color. I honestly just haven't figured it out. I keep promising myself I'm going to simplify the interior art that I put in books, but I don't. So I actually, like, if I'm going to get things done, I actually need to go with a more simplified, less painterly effect. But I just can't help it for these maps because I've never done them before. Every time I end up doing something I've never done before, I want to do it the best I can. So I end up going far more. I commit myself to far more production effort in each individual piece than I had initially intended, and I recognize it's a serious problem. Because it really kills my production timeline on stuff. It makes things come out a lot slower than they should. But the counterpoint is that they look really good when they're done. So it's kind of hard to knock the process. But I really just need to. It's finding a means of being more productive more quickly to get the content produced better. There's so many ideas that are exploding here that it's just production is the only thing that's slowing it down. So we're hoping we can build momentum and like build a studio of folks that work with us over time so that we can get dependable writers working with us to be able to produce the stuff that we want. So that's the sort of dream. Anyway, so we're going through the texturing effect using stippling to use with our chisel eraser here at the 10% strength so that it only slowly carves away. And I can go back in and I can smudge that all back in and I can delete some more again to get that texture going. Drop in a color here and texture that down a bit. This, smear that in, texture that down. There you go. It's a giant stone Danish. I am obviously hungry. Coffee time, yo. Good stuff. How are we doing down here? Bloop. There we go. Zoom. Back when I was doing art production for the Color Mana books that are down below, that was a while ago. It was like 2-3 years ago, something crazy like that already. Jeez, McCrow. Anyway, they're still selling weekly, so I'm pretty happy about that. But I was doing art stream for those in the morning, and so that's the same cycle that I'm falling into now. That I'll be doing stream like this in the mornings. Again, at lunch I'll be doing martial powers, and then Monday evening specifically I work on Eberron maps. The Eberron adventure, Crystals of Mabar, that Andy Headley and Stuart Brosnan are working on. So these are the two sort of flagship projects that I'm currently working on together. And then of course the Martial Powers project, which we'll do at lunchtime today, is a slow bake. So once this thing and possibly Crystals of Mabar are both out of the way, we can shift into working on the Martial Powers project in the same way that we're here and that we did all the development on stream. And then once we hand that off to, it looks like we have King Carcass lined up to do the editing for the Martial Powers project. So, and he's helped me with the editing of the Color Mana books that are linked down below that go to DM's Guild. So I've worked with him before. He comes with really cool ideas, and he's a real big MTG enthusiast. So that's fun to work with him, and his copyright and his grammar structuring is pretty good. I think there's differences in philosophy between Americans and people in Australia, and I think for these particular projects that works really well. So I'm really happy with that. That project I expect to be done and ready for edits probably in January. Just another couple months left for the for the Martial Powers project, and we'll be able to kick that on. Our playtest team is currently 17th, is just getting 17th level, so they're just now getting access to 5th rank powers, or rather the 5th rank, channeling 5 mana at once, which is the cap that you can do for the Martial Power system. So the team is just now getting into that range, and I mean, obviously they're holy terrors, but like our ranger has 34 mana, and he damn near dumped all of it in one fight, killing a Lithid, and I still took the team down about 33% of their resources just in a casual 5-round combat. So the burst potential for the Martial Power system is incredibly strong. He's playing a ranger, and his burst is excellent. It's the kind of pacing that you would expect to see for full casting characters, but it's coming off of a ranger, so it has the punch that we wanted. The potential of the Nova, he's pretty good, man, because he only Novas like when he's smelling, oh, boss fight, I'm going to hold on to my points, and then he just like a paladin just dumps them into the target. And there's all sorts of things too, like countering strikes and obviously ranged smites and popping maneuvers to prevent to help synergize the team while shutting down enemy mechanics, enemy reactions and stuff. It was a pretty fun fight against some high level psionic stuff. So that turned out really well. And so we got maybe another another few months at the 4th tier that we adventuring, and they're all using martial powers, so we're getting some good insight and feedback on stuff, and I am really looking forward to that piece publishing. So that is going to be really good. But then that sets up that sets me up for more command books, the Infernal Flying Machines and Fighter Handbook to go along with this Spelljammer book here, and to get us into Descent into Avernus, so we can rebuild how you can tear hell apart in your quest to free El Terrell from hell. So everything's coming together, slowly coming together. It'd be great to have, like I said, a roster of writers that kind of grok where I'm at and are also willing to put in the work to get these things done. So we'll see. We'll see what the future holds for us. But for now, we just keep. This is part of the process. You build the writing. You send the writing off to the editors. When it comes back, the thing reads good. Then you can. No reason not to build the art assets right now. I mean, I still have the text to do, but that's not a lot of fun to watch. I am recognizing, after months and months and months of doing design work on stream, I recognize not a lot of people are actually interested in that sort of content, but I will find my tribe. If you want to be involved in artwork and checking out design and stuff like that, you can like and subscribe. Keep track of me on Twitter. Find me on Discord. And say hello. Ah, man, what a sleepy trumpet. Where am I at? Here I am. Hi. Let's see if this is the... it. Back to 1. Hit the save button and we zoom back out. Good to go. I'm saving Topola's tower at the center for last. I'm going to do the. I'm going to finish all these asteroids, and then I'm going to do the skyscape backdrop, and then I will do Topola's tower once I see how everything is, how the lighting works on everything, to see what it will be, you know, contrasty versus solid. And then once Topola's tower is complete, then we'll build the assets, the scaver, some Kandori, enough. I think it takes 6 Kandori to drag his ship. The 60 tons. I think what is it? 30 ton. I think it's a 30-ton ship. The living ship. I'll have to look at the mechanics that we have and the size of the ship that they're using. I think it's a 60-ton ship, so it takes 6 Kandori to tow it through wild space at 10,000 miles per day. So it takes a number of days to get from where the ship is fighting the Rieger, and if they defeat the Rieger, if they are destroyed by the Rieger and the Rieger destroys their ship, and if they're able to fight it off, then they're left stranded. So then when Kandori come by, they can lasso the Kandori and then drag their wreckage to Topola's tower for repair. If they are successful in fighting the Rieger, then they are able to just continue flying on unabated. So you have both of those potential possibilities of being on Kandori or being on the second wind, the second wind, the living ship that the folks pick up at Rock of Brawl in chapter 5. No, chapter 4. Chapter 4 is the Rieger attack, I believe. I don't know. I forget how much stuff actually happens in each chapter because it's all so very short. Leave that down. There we go. Now we're getting with fire. My gal got a chainsaw the other day, and she's like, "Ooh, look at all these!" Like, because there's a bunch of wood in Everett that were around. There's a bunch of fallen trees. She's like, "Oh, I want to go in and chop up that tree with a chainsaw and drag it back to your fireplace." Like, you go, girl. So awesome, so awesome. So I might have some incredibly fresh, wet, snappy firewood here in the near future to keep my home warm. So awesome. Yep. Easy texturing. It's coffee time, children. So far, so good. Most likely, characters are people on the maps will be looking at about this. Probably about this range is realistic. That actually looks really good. Easy to tell where you're beginning. Easy to tell where each rock ends. Hopping back and forth. Easy peasy. Yep. Pretty happy. So let's just keep at it. Just keeping at it right now. I'm excited about one bookstore, OBS or Drift through RPG, or the parent company to the DMsGuild. I'm really happy about them teaming up with Roll20, because Roll20 is where I do all my design work. So that's where all my DMing's at. That's where I do all my playtesting for like different documents and maps and stuff like this. So having that environment be native to the products that we're building here is just makes my life a hell of a lot easier. A lot easier. I'm really happy about that. Any weird asset production that I can get into for Roll20, it'll be a little bit of a learning curve, but I think it'll probably be worth it. Each rock needs a little individual care. Seven o'clock. I got an hour left, so I'm gonna turn on my timer here. Give myself another hour. So I can only turn out so many asteroids per hour. Start. Got a 20-minute timer, so that'll pop twice before I'm on last call. And then once we hit 8 o'clock here in Seattle, we will turn off stream. About 6 hours from now, I'll be back on to continue exploring magic paradigms with the Martial Powers project that I mentioned earlier. That is an ongoing project that we every Monday spend an hour or two and build out instant mana effects for rogues, for arcane tricksters, eldritch knights. As well as rangers and paladins, to have different alternate spell lists for instant effects, sort of more on point with how you would expect martials to like the kind of deck that you would expect a martial play style, or like a creature deck in Magic the Gathering. We have a lot of instants and buff effects and like counter spell effects to keep your creatures on the board. The Martial Powers project that we've been developing is sort of the same idea for martial RPG characters, using MTG mechanic ideas. So yeah, check that out. It's been a fun experience building all that on stream, and then playtesting it offline with my homebrew table, and then having that content also available down in my Patreon link down below. You can tool around my Patreon, and you'll find the Martial Powers project. All these things are read only, so you can you can check out online how they work. But as per DMsGuild, I can't actually publish the content anywhere. So it's a read-only document that gives folks an opportunity to see what like the original ideas, the developmental stage stuff is. But it's not the edits. It's not the final edits. It's not the layout. It's certainly not the artwork. All that stuff gets built in after the effect. But the mechanics and the basic ideas can at least still be there for folks to look at in the playtest document. And then once the thing publishes, that all gets pulled down and just get replaced with links to the project on DMsGuild, which is also 100% preview. So you'll always be able to see the whole thing at no cost, and like all my work, you'll always be able to see it at no cost. And if you decide that you want to support the effort, then you end up buying the books. So that's legit. I am super on board with that. That. Overall, looking pretty good. I think I can get a good chunk of this area done through here. Beep, 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 beep. Beep, beep, beep. So you got, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, I want to try to get to here done, like everything that's in here. I want to get this done. This is what I'm hoping to finish. I'm not sure if I'll actually be able to get all that finished today or not. Only have an hour left after all, but that's what that is our current endeavor, is to get that much done. So the reward is the work. Is the best way to fix your dopamine system. Make sure everything stays in proper alignment, where the torturing yourself with meticulous work for endless hours becomes its own form of entertainment, as a sort of masochistic privilege to be able to even do this sort of work in a secure home, in a world where a computer can be purchased, and the data feed will allow for transmission into your home where you are safe to watch. This is a pretty amazing time in life. But I agree with George Carlin. There's a high degree chance that the only reason humanity existed in the first place was to get plastic into the environment, so that Mother Nature can build creatures that utilize plastic, so she can form her own Phyrexian invasion, as it were, of creature machines that are partially organic and partially plastic. You know, lithium crabs. Boo. Nice. I'm pretty happy with that rock. That's a good looking rock there. Man, I just fall in love with this project over and over again. That's the great thing about doing artwork for projects like this, is that when you just, there's a lot of asset production, but each one of them is an opportunity for you just to fall in love with art all over again. Like, I'm really happy with the lighting on how that rock turned out. Just, I love the little tip over here and how we bound that all together into like the same mist shape. It's just fun. It's just really, really fun to do. There's so much satisfaction in just each one of these little things that get built. And they're so small and insignificant by themselves. They just add up to just a really good pile of assets that just look good. So I am learning so much in this project, and it's really helping me expand my perspective of what a project can be, like what I can actually offer to different players and DMs in the RPG scene. Like I feel like I'm actually producing stuff of like really useful content here. Not this specific thing here, but just like the whole Light of Xaryxis project, the combat and exploration project. It's the first example of something that people are really wanting something better than what Wizards provided that I can actually produce. It's somewhat, I guess, quote unquote, mainstream for the D&D crowd that actually has a lot of potential to do well. So there's a lot of radical takes and reframes of how stuff works in space that was kind of hinted at, but specifically not fleshed out in the Spelljammer's Adventures in Space, like when things float out of a gravity field of a ship. Like it says that it just slowly drift away. It's like it doesn't really talk about are they if objects maintain their own momentum in space, then why would they slow when they leave the gravity field of a ship? That implies that they are eventually going to drift to a stop. So like, why are there rogue asteroids that can, like meteors and stuff that just fly through the universe? Like what's up with that? So like, they have to be trapped in sort of, obviously these things have to be trapped inside some sort of gravity to be pulled around, but there's no specific rules about where's that, how far does that gravity reach? How does that affect your ship to be able to like leave orbit of something that's strong enough to maintain orbit with meteors? That's the kind of stuff that we're trying to provide answers for, so that you don't have to think about it. Worthwhile product. Not to mention, the upscaling mechanics for like ships and stuff, like making that stuff like super fluid and easy. That's been a real joy. I'm getting a bit of doot. Cool. Still got 40 minutes on the clock. futz with the lighting a little bit more here with some smudge, and then we can go in and we can erase the smudge again. A little bit more. There you go. Almost good. Very good, very good, very good. Very, 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 very good. Trim down that lighting a little bit, a little hard edged. Whew, man, I'm pretty happy with this stuff. This is looking good. This is looking good. Loving it. Loving it. Hey! $7.24. I got another 20 minutes left on the block, and I'm gonna have to drop off stream. So this is our last call. We'll see what we can get done here before we gotta step out for the time being. And then again, we'll be back in 5.5 hours ish. I like Mondays. Mondays are productive for me. I got a lot going on. Monday's streamed in the morning. Marshall Powers development and at lunch, and then evening time we'll come back with Everon and cartography just like this. It's fun. This is the kind of stuff that I can see AI improving automation for. Like, once I get one of these rock spells, like, just do that for the rest of them. I click the, just do more of that button. I think that's going to happen. I'm excited about that. Possible we might hit our pacing goal. You're leaning your head into the map. A, it means you're tired, Kearney. B, it means you need to zoom more. And C, it's coffee time. Almost there. Stay on target. Art is more about endurance than like any kind of eye-hand coordination. Because you can screw up the eye. I mean, depending on the art. I mean, if you're sculpting or something and you miss chalk something, then you're gonna drop the face off of your statue, and that's gonna suck. But digital painting is by far the most forgiving of art. And which is amazing because it's such a breathtaking mode of being able to communicate. That'd be so forgiving. I mean, it wasn't forever, and like only just past 30 years has painting become a forgivable art. That's just revolutionized everything. Now it's just like I was saying, it's an endurance test now. It's not am I going to completely screw up this canvas because I misstroked this red mark on this thing. No, it's just undo that. Now it's just a matter of how long are you willing to stick with it to make it look good. Like a very different, very, very different approach to painting now than what had been. I'm really happy about that, honestly. I wouldn't have been able to make the cut. There's no way in hell I was going to invest in canvases and stuff. Seeing that, I certainly can't mix colors in real space. It's impossible. It's like all these digital tools just allowed me to step over being colorblind and just build. It's so cool. Yeah, that feels better. That shape was really bothering me. I had to go after it a bit. Erase those bits. Erase. There we go. Cool. Back and hit you. Boop, boop. Doodle-doo-doo. That up with texture, make it look all pocky. And I may decide to come through with another underlayer to have a similar texture transfer across the broader form of each of those rocks. That would be added detail that honestly I probably don't need to do. But I'm considering it. It looks super dope. Okay, I should be able to finish up these last little rocks and finish my roster for the day. That's docket. Finish my docket for the day. That's exciting. It's exciting to be on point. spine up, Kearney. Whew. Woo, dilly. All right, we got 15 minutes left before we got to pay our pound of flesh to the man. So I think I'm just about done. The assets that I said I was going to get done today. And a whole lot more. This line here. Everything from this line over is done. So that means that we are just about at the halfway mark. So that's where we're here, and then we'll start working over onto this side. So we got about a third of it. We got about a sixth of this done in an hour, which means it's a 6-hour project, which probably means we need another, I reckon, 3.5, 4 hours. For us to finish all of this. It's probably going to take another 3 hours or so for us to do all that. So now that you guys are seeing me doing the highlighting here, and you see how it's coming, how that happens, and it's pretty subtle for the amount of work that I'm having to put in, honestly. But I like how it looks. It finishes off. It finishes off that component. So it's time well spent. I'm going to finish this stuff up. I'll probably finish that second half off stream. If I get to it. If I can get it done. Because I got some writing I got to do, and I got Eberron I'm working on, and I got this map I'm working on. I want to play test this a little bit more. Just to make sure that it runs smooth and that people like how the visuals here are at when we're doing it. So we'll drop our team back down to the 6th level for this encounter, and it should pan out pretty well. So 7:45. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and cut stream here. We hit done everything we're going to do. I'll be back in about 5 hours. Yeah, and I'll be back in about 5 hours. We're going to do some martial powers. So I'll see you guys then. Like, subscribe, check out my books, follow me on Twitter, all the things. Looking forward to what's next. See you guys then.